There is the gerbil. I'm gonna drag this in the shop and do a little bit, try and make a few decisions on it, and just kind of figure out the fate of that. It's been a while, so kind of refamiliarize myself with it and see what we come up with. So old Sanford is sitting over there. I brought it in the shop the other day. Made a list of parts and pieces. I don't know I'm going to do the upgrades I wanted to. This year's already flying by. And I got a run, pretty major run coming up here fairly quick. So it may be another one of the throw more parts in it and just keep on trucking. So we'll see. We'll see when my other parts get here. So in the meantime, let's get the old gerbil fired up and see if it'll go in the shop. Well, there it is. I got her all uncovered. Now I got to find a battery to hopefully that something might have a charge in it. And hopefully all this stuff will still fire up. So I'm pretty sure I put an antifreeze in it. I'm really hoping I did because that was a brand new 22R motor. So let's find out. Well, let's hope, because I've been swapping batteries between this Camaro and the gerbil. And let's hope this old girl's got some juice in it still, enough to fire up the gerbil after being dormant for, I don't know, it's been a couple months. Well, I'm not too sure if I remember how this went together. I think I just plugged this little wire. Oh yeah, I hear a solenoid going. I think that was propane. And I think it also became my ignition. So, let's see if it'll go into that. And then, the cranker. Oh, listen to that. She's purring. Well, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. So, the gerbil is alive. It wants to do something. Nobody likes the old gerbil, but I kind of do dig it. And it's, I don't know, I've been between gutting it out or getting it going, and I don't know. I'm going to pull it in there, and I'm definitely going to try and make some decisions. It needs so much that, you know, it's like, it's almost like starting over. But, I mean, I'm in the same boat with Sanford. To redo it and link and do all that, it's like building an entire new Jeep. And that's kind of like this thing. So, I'm going to look at it, see if I can cobble it together, just to have fun with. That was the whole point of picking this up. But naturally, I always want to take things to another level. But, yeah, let's see what we can do with this thing. Tank is very excited that we're actually doing something today. So, yeah, he's looking like he's ready to go. Well, let's climb in here and see if this transmission is froze up, or who knows. I have no seat. Ow, there's my head. So we're going to do the old one-leg hover here. How's it going, everyone? So first off, I got to apologize. I haven't put out much content lately. Sanford's been kind of sitting there. I just kind of put everything on hold a little bit. It was a pretty busy summer, and I just kind of was burned out on Jeep stuff. And it just kind of, well, and I got another channel. It's Cobbled Chaos, and I do a lot of hot rod stuff. So, yeah, check that out if you're into hot rods. Cobbled Chaos. And yeah, it's just stuff I build and things I mess around. That's kind of what I usually do in the winter time. So, but yeah, I pulled Sanford in the other day, and over New Year's, I blew the hydraulic steering up in it. Well, it's hydro assist, but I ended up bending the ram, bent my tie rod, ripped out the hydraulic lines, and I think that's about it. But yeah, so it's kind of been sitting, and then it's the age-old battle I've been having with leaf springs and linking and stuff. And when I sit in the couch, I want to link it. When I start looking at it and everything, it's got to be redone and stuff. And then it just seems like a kind of a waste of a perfectly good trail Jeep to basically build it into a buggy. So I did order, because we got an event coming up, I ordered a new set of leaf springs. The old ones I got, I didn't know in the Wagoneers. This is something to watch out for if you do Wagoneer leafs on the front of your rig, or even on the rear. The YJs, they bolt in, they give you a stretch and everything. But anyway, I did find out in the 7-leaf packs that there is a 950 pound, a 1050, a 1330 or something, and then a 1450. And I think my originals were a 1450, and I didn't know it because they worked for almost 2 years and were flawless, you know. And then I really started beating on it, and they started going bad. This last batch I did made about 4 runs, and they were destroyed, and they're horrible. And from the day I got them, they really didn't have much more more tension on them or anything than my worn out used ones were. And I put them in, it was already kind of stink bugging and everything. So pay attention to that. And I would highly recommend go with the 1450s or the 1350s, because those 950s, they did not like any abuse whatsoever. So anyway, on to the next thing. Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at this gerbil and kind of look around and see. The biggest thing that that really bothered me was the transmission popping out at first, which isn't a big deal, but it's just a matter of pulling the motor, tranny, all that out. And naturally, my mind goes to, if I'm going to do all that, change all the mounts, raise it all up, you know, which I want to do it all anyway. So it's kind of like, but I'm looking at that, and it's the same thing. Sanford, its frame's rotten, everything's rotten. So it's like, by the time you change and move everything around, it's kind of like, well, why don't I start with a fresh frame? But then it's like, why don't I just like buy some tubing and turn it into a buggy? So it's trying to bridge the gap between crappy and okay crappy and like a buggy, you know. And it's like, I don't want to do all that work. I don't want to invest that much time into a 4-cylinder powered thing. And the whole deal with getting this Samurai was kind of as a plan B for if Sanford's down, I can still play. I thought it'd just be funny to laugh and giggle with this thing, but I kind of like it too much to just make it a total junker, you know. So I don't know. Let me show you a few things I'm thinking about here. All right, so number one is the steering, and this box is way up on the frame, and the tie rods are basically overlapping here. So when this tire comes up and stuffs, they hit. So this needs moved. All the suspension, I've been over all that before. The leaf springs or the coil springs, they're welded to the buckets and stuff. So I basically want to move the steering, put some hoops on it, and just hook some air shocks on it. Do that. Probably pull the transmission out and get that redone. And I might throw a doubler on, but if I do that, I'd pretty much want to stretch this thing. And I don't really want to stretch the rear too much, but I don't know. I thought about building a different bed and stuff for it. Definitely like to do a different cage in it. And this is where the dilemma is, because if I'm going to buy all the tubing for a cage and do all this extra work, why not just turn it into a, you know, I can buy a lizard chassis or something and put it in there, but it's not the gerbil. So I get kind of partial to my names and my little piles of junk. So, but yeah, I brought it in here, and in my mind, I think I'm just going to go for it and try it. I say, I kind of like to beat on this thing and still have it be, it'll be damn near a buggy when I'm all said and done, but it's still going to be the gerbil, which I like. And that's kind of Sanford. It's like, Sanford will always be Sanford. So I think, yeah, I'm going to look at it a little bit more, get a few more ideas, find any other hidden dilemmas that I know about or can find, and go from there. Yeah, it's all lopsided and crooked and everything, but to me, it's kind of like if you go out and you do some dominating and you whoop up on maybe a buggy guy or something like this, it's a little more satisfying. So I don't know. Bear with me. Let's get into this thing and get some ideas figured out. So looking under this thing, this has from the bottom of the frame here to the floor is 26 inches, and I'm sure it's different on the other side because this thing's lopsided as hell. And it has this crappy drop-down mount for the tranny and stuff. So that's a lot of the reason if I pull all this out. I love a flat belly on these. The hangers were concerning me. I think I'm just going to make some little ramps to have them ramp up. And just something so that they'll slide off. But this really bothers me. So, and looking, I think I can raise this up. I don't know if you can see. But there is, back here, there is a ton of room. This could go up that 2-3 inches it needs to go, and I'd have plenty of clearance, and I'll still clear, you know, where the hood is to the top of all this stuff. So I think that'd be worthwhile doing since I have it all out. These are kind of a stacked together, doubled up weird motor mount that they got. So a while back when I was thinking about this, I ordered some of these bushings, so I just make some nice new motor mounts for it, and then would raise it all up. These are nice and solid, and so that's another thing I'm thinking about doing. And then looking at the interior in this thing, I mean, somebody did a cage, and I mean, that's better than nothing, but I don't like it. So I think I am going to get some tubing. I'm going to go ahead and whip up a cage for this, and probably back half it, I think, and just get rid of all this. I need to kind of get rid of it all just for the air shocks and everything anyway, so none of this does me any good. I probably will kind of run a skin on there. I'll dove it and run a skin so it still kind of has a samurai look to it, but I think that'd be a big benefit and make my life a lot easier. So yeah, I think that's just going to be something that needs done, because I don't really trust it. They got a lot of tubing in there, and it is actually DOM, but I think I can do better than this. I want to get these rock sliders out of the way, and right now their cage is kind of tied into those, so I'd like to get these out and boat side it, and then I'm going to tie the boat sides in with a rock slider. I wouldn't mind having a little bump of a tube poking out up here or something just as a rub rail, but boat side it in, tie it in with the body mounts and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of work for a pile of crap, I know that, but it's like, I don't know, like I say, I kind of like this thing, and to me, some of that stuff is just kind of fun to do, so I think I'm just going to keep it, because I was actually very much teetering on the edge of gutting this thing out, just throwing it all in the corner somewhere. I was going to sell the axles and stuff, but I don't know. I kind of want to see this thing go and just see what it does, and I don't know, it'll grow with anything, you know, it's like Sanford. This, I'm not worried about redoing everything on. Sanford, just, there's kind of a point behind Sanford, but this thing, it's just another turd in the box, so, yeah. But yeah, so I think that's what I'm deciding. If you guys have any other thing to think, if you want to tell me to throw it away, I can do that. I don't know. I think it's worth a shot though. So, but yeah, thanks again for sticking with us and watching what we do and stuff. And I'm open to any and all comments about any of this stuff. And yeah, we should start getting some more content coming. When some parts come for Sanford, that's going to come in. I'll get going on that. I'm going to get going on this, and I might take this on a run we got coming in March. I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of messing around right now. So, but yeah, thanks a lot. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We really appreciate it, and we'll get going on this thing and get some more videos.